Stony Creek by 312 Burnside Avenue, the bridge on Burnside Avenue, just below the Alexander Drive drainage basin. This appears to be stream bank erosion, particularly that tree. We're going to lose that one eventually. And this exposed root is the beginning of the end for this tree if something is not addressed the basin on Alexander. Needs to be retrofitted and naturalized. Eastern side of Burnside Avenue, 312 Burnside property, Stony Creek. Your pipe, which I'm assuming is leading from the drainage basin on Alexander Drive. There is clearly stream bank erosion here. If you look particularly this tree, we're going to lose. That is a lot of exposed root. And if you go down, you'll see more examples of that further down the creek. Only slightly further down the east side of the Stony Creek. This is the tree that we were looking at first, showing stream bank erosion. Now that we're up here, we've got this one here. It's getting close to getting lost, as well as this, which is almost completely gone, and it just keeps going. Not a small tree. Eventually we'll have to meet up again with Tim Dubon. Not sure how far back the property goes, but this is where the bamboo opens up again. Goes further back that way. I don't want to go too far just because I don't know where the cutoff is. So there's clearly already basically a trail naturally came about, and that'll head back to Burnside Avenue in that direction. A little further on the west side of Burnside, I think we had this in a shot from before, from the other side, and that is erosion there. That tree's probably eventually going to come down, and as we go along, got more here. This tree, this already came down. Here's a big one. This one's eventually going to come down. And if you can see way up there, that is clearly a large section of erosion. See where the grass just stops? That's about 7 feet maybe. Just estimate from the creek level to that upper plateau there where the grass starts. This is the Moan Basin, the drainage basin at the end of Alexander Drive off of Burnside Avenue. This is where your water is flowing out. These would likely not have been replaced ever since this neighborhood was built, which would have been over 30 years ago. They are in desperate need of retrofitting. It looks like there's an attempt of some naturalization of the basin right around the drain, but that is not good enough. This shouldn't be mown at all. It's far more cost effective to naturalize the basin. So if you see off in the distance here, you have water coming in from that area and this area here, which is basically draining that same path down both sides, moving through too quickly. Whereas if it was naturalized and you had more of these tall grasses or native grass, switchgrass, I think maybe one of them, that would slow the rate of flow of the water, which in turn would filter it more before going to where our drinking water is cleaned up, and it would also prevent the stream bank erosion that we saw a little further up the road at the bridge on Burnside Avenue, Stony Creek. Here is one of the large grassy sections of Markley Farms off of Oakland Drive. So basically all this grass you see here, that's one section where the housing is planned on being built should everything go through. The other would be on the Chestnut Avenue side, and as you can see there's quite a few Canada geese feeding in the day. It is December 26th for reference, and say a couple hundred. And that's just what we can see, excluding what's likely on the pond and further on the other side. It's the drainage basin beside the Markley Farm property. December 26, 2016. I believe this is also a mown basin. I do not think they let this grow out in the spring through the summer, which would be a naturalized basin. So more than likely this needs to be retrofitted and naturalized as well. One good thing is there is some sitting water, so it has a little more time to filter through. However, naturalizing and retrofitting this would be a better practice. Best management practices, if you will. This is the drainage basin on Clemens Circle. This is a newer neighborhood, so one would think that more best management properties would have come into play here. However, unless there's something I'm not aware of, this here, where you're seeing the concrete coming directly out of this pipe area, I don't think that is a best management practice. That should be native grasses or something that can allow the water to filter itself instead of rapidly getting it to the end of this section here. So you want it to move as slowly as possible for proper filtration. We do at least have some water standing, which is good because that will filter out a little bit better. However, this appears that it's likely a mown basin as well, though during the summer there may have been a little more vegetation directly around the route that the water would take here. Now, one good thing is behind there, which I don't believe I can access, you do see some natural vegetation, so Hopefully that is aiding in the filtration of the water, but other than that, this certainly should not be mown. It should be naturalized, and again, I'm questioning the concept of this concrete channel here. And this is December 26th, 2016, Clemens Circle Drainage Basin.